Hey, everybody. Welcome to a brand new episode of What I Know So Far. I'm Trish Sir.
And I'm Karen Mills, and we're so excited for today's episode.
We really are. Let me tell y'all something. Now, if you're not already a full-time subscriber, subscribe, rate, review. It means a lot. We read them all. We don't answer them all, but we read them all, so say something sweet. But I said to Karen, she goes, who would you want to have on this week? And I said, I don't know who you're thinking. And Karen said,
Anjelah Johnson.
And I said, what are you going to do to get Anjelah Johnson? She goes, pick up the phone. I was like, and I fangirled so hard, y'all, because if you don't know Anjelah Johnson, now Anjelah Johnson-Reyes, she's an amazing comedian, wonderful human, and a friend of Karen Mills.
Yes, and just a total delight. I mean, if there is the definition of delightful is Anjelah Johnson-Reyes.
You know what? I would agree with that. We can't wait for y'all to listen, and I'm going to try not to fangirl too hard, but she's such a joy, such a joy. And as Karen says, she's just a straight up
good vibe.
She is a good vibe. So without further ado, here's our episode with the bright, shiny joy that is Anjelah Johnson-Reyes. Karen Mills, I don't know if you're as excited as I am for who our magical guest is today.
I am so excited. She is just an absolute doll and so talented and so beautiful. And I have missed you because you've been on baby leave for a little while.
Ladies and gentlemen, the amazing Anjelah Johnson-Reyes.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sorry, I'm Southern. I don't put enough gorgeous mustard on it as it probably should.
Mustard, that's hilarious. You got to put sauce on it.
Yes, just zhuzh it up. Mm-hmm. Thank you so much for taking the time, because I know you're busier than a three-legged cat in a box of kitty litter.
Let me tell you, there's something about Southern, like, slang and little slogans y'all have that don't make no type of sense, but you say it with such conviction that it's like, I receive it, whatever. You're always, I mean, literally, if you aren't following Anjelah on social, get your life right, because your Instagram makes me joyful. But all the ways, however you ingest your content, you're just always going and doing. And now you've added that beautiful, gorgeous Rosie. Thank you.
Which we're going to cover all this. But I don't thank you for making time is the point.
Yeah, you're welcome. Thank you for having me. I enjoy doing podcasts and chatting with my ladies.
So, are you back to 100% full schedule now?
Yeah, although I did scale back what 100% means.
Right, sure.
You know?
Let's talk about that. I love that.
Let's see, before baby, it was like 3 weeks on, 1 week off in the month. And now I do only 2 weekends a month. So it's half and half.
Well, that's still a pretty full schedule.
That's full schedule.
It is, but for me, I've definitely scaled back. Oh, and let me say this too. I used to do comedy club weekends, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And now I'm doing mostly Friday, Saturday weekends. And every now and then I'll do a full Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday in certain markets where I know, like, I could go do a theater in this market and I put it on sale at the club and the show's sold out like that. Yes. Then I'll do a full Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. But like this last weekend I was in Louisville and my shows didn't sell out until like the night before. And that was just a Friday, Saturday weekend. So I was like, yeah, I'm okay just doing Friday, Saturday.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's also a summer Southern thing. You can't pull a Southerner out of the sun because we all know it's going to be gray and hateful. So it's not that they don't love you.
Yeah. Pre-Labor Day, forget it. Now that Labor Day has passed, things will start moving quicker.
Yes.
Yes.
And it's so crazy how the weather changed immediately after Labor Day. Mm-hmm. It was like full on, like, and scene.
Yeah. It was 100 degrees and okay, we're cut.
Let me ask this, Anjelah, do you travel now? Because it is a new paradigm. Do you travel with the whole rodeo when it makes sense?
Sometimes, exactly, when it makes sense. So when I first went back on the road, I definitely brought Rosie with me on any weekend that was more than 24 hours. If it was 24 hours, I just went by myself and I came home and I pumped while I was gone and I brought my milk back with me. And then if it was more than 24 hours, I brought her with me and the nanny or my husband, or sometimes both. And so she would come with me on any longer weekend. And now that I'm not breastfeeding anymore, I am doing my weekends without her that are just like 2 days. Like my Friday, Saturday weekends, I'll do without her. But anything longer than 2 days, I don't like to be away from her more than 2 days.
I understand that.
Can we just say that male comedians have no idea? I'm sorry. I just took that moment because you just said it as casual as you were like, I take my lashes and don't take my lashes. As you were like, and I'm pumping. I was like, could you imagine? I can't name one man that is a great at your level going, yeah, I had to do this because of my baby.
Or needs to, or needs to pump before they go on stage. I mean, come on.
Yeah. That's wild.
It is. It's just that next level of badassery is what I'd like to. It
Yes.
is. That's what I just was really referring to. Not poo-pooing on the men. We love a male. Yay. But the way you just said it is casual. Is like sometimes I wear a full lash. Sometimes I wear a wisp. And I was going, man, no man has to think that way.
Yeah. And sidebar real quick, just because you said full lash and wisp. My husband and I share a grocery list, right? And so whoever gets to the store will do the grocery shopping, right? Yes. Well, I had forgot I put like all my personal things on there just so I wouldn't forget. I needed lashes, I needed moisturizer, all these things to put it on there. And he calls me from the store and he's like, hey, what kind of lashes do I get? And I was like, oh, I forgot I put those on there. Okay, look for Demi Wispy. I need Demi Wispy. And then he's like, okay, they only have Wispy. And I'm like, no, not it. Say Demi Wispy. I take him a screenshot and I send him where it says Demi Wispy. And then he's looking, he's like, nope, just says Wispy. And I was like, okay, then it's going to be CVS. They don't have it at Kroger. So then he goes to CVS on the way home and then he brings me my lashes. So proud. He's like, here, baby, got your lashes. But these ones are just Demi. They're not Demi Wispy. And I was like, this is Demi. And he's like, well, you said not Wispy. You said Demi. I said, Demi Wispy. I sent you a picture. And it was like, he's like, what is, it's the same. Look, it looks good. Because I was explaining how like it starts like a longer here and then it gets shorter.
A taper.
I was trying to explain. And he's like, it does that. It does the shorter than the longer. Like what? And I was like, it's fine. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Do we not love his heart that he was like, babe, I got you. I'm going to find this lash.
I know, really. He stopped somewhere else. I mean, that is love. That is true love.
Yeah. And then I just poo-pooed on his buying selection. I was like, this ain't it. What?
I do the same thing. My husband tries to do sweet stuff and I have to literally go, thank you so much. And then I'm like, I'm returning. You've made more work for me. Like I start going
like,
through the list. But I go,
thank you so much. Where's the receipt?
Yeah. This is so thoughtful.
And just to throw in this comment about whether he's getting the right lash or the wrong lash, he does it in a beautiful package.
Yeah,
your husband is gorgeous.
We were just talking before you came on, Anjelah, about your sweet Rosie, your beautiful daughter, her DNA. Kay literally goes, did that baby not win the DNA gene pool lottery? I was like, I know. Y'all could not be two more beautiful humans that made even, if it's possible, more beautiful human.
Thank you.
I don't get paid to say that. We just literally like, she is so beautiful.
She's so pretty that like sometimes I look at her and like it's that whole like partly comedian self-deprecating, partly I don't know what, but I look at her and I'd be like, you're so pretty. Like, this is your dad. Like, I just attribute like all her like prettiness to her dad. I'm like,
no way.
Like, he's so handsome. Like, look at you. You get that from your dad. Like, you so pretty.
Yeah, but
this is not me fishing for a compliment, please. No, not me fishing for a compliment.
But I was telling Karen because I just listened to Funjelah. If you haven't, look, I'm going to turn into your hype girl. I'm a professional hype girl, Anjelah. I love hyping everybody, especially when I love something. I listened to Funjelah, and I was listening to the episode, and I'm going to butcher her name because she had gorgeous mustard on it. Deanna? Was it Deanna Maria?
Yeah, Deanna Maria Riva.
See? Listen to all that mustard.
Oh, my God.
all that. It was such a great episode. Not only are y'all friends, which made it so sweet, but and you clipped this out. It's on Instagram if you want to listen, but go to where you get podcasts and listen to Funjelah because it's a great show. Because I love that you base everything in gratitude, because that's how Karen and I both live our lives and sit in a constant place of we could always go down a rabbit hole of crap, but who couldn't? Mm-hmm. But you had that great moment about how we all have to just be kinder to ourselves. And I want you to know that I listened to that on a podcast while I was walking my dogs and was fully crying.
Oh.
Not ready for that, because you guys were just girlfriending and talking, and it made this left, and I was like, and it just spoke to my soul about how we all, especially as comedians, we go to self-deprecating first.
Yes.
And just how hard it is sometimes to be gracious.
Yeah.
With
hard.
Ourselves.
It's hard, man. Especially aging.
Oh, yeah.
Like, and
preach on that.
The thing is, women aging isn't really celebrated. Not that men aging is, but I think it's tolerated more and
judged less.
It is like men with gray hair is hot. Women with gray hair is old and raggedy and
dad bod.
That's changing. I'll say that is changing. Like there's that movement on social media of women embracing their grays and showing how beautiful it is. So it is changing now. I feel like anytime I say that, people get like, "Oh no, we embrace our grays now." I'm like, "Sure, we're trying. We're trying to do that." But overall, no, the majority of civilization looks at women with gray hair and be like, ooh, she got old.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. And to be fair, not everybody's skin tone is gray friendly.
That's right.
Men will just slide off into a ditch and you're like, oh, they look distinguished. Some of us weren't meant. Like, I look like I'm from the old country quick with a certain hair color.
Yeah.
I'm
Even
from
men with wrinkles.
Yes.
It gives like a sexy, like age
sophistication.
Like, yes, honey. Like, ooh.
Yes, like a Robert Redford kind of.
Exactly. But then women, we start getting, it's like, oh, is it different? Ooh, it's ooh, then oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so true. It is so true.
Yeah, poor thing is not followed by it when you with the Robert Redford. Yeah.
Nope.
Reach on that. Yeah, you look at somebody that just looks like 8 miles. They'll just tend to say we look like 8 miles of bad road or rough. Like you slide into anybody's comments where age is concerned with a woman. And we're in a career that there's no smoke and mirrors, right? It's a microphone. We aren't auto-tuned. There's no backup dancers.
And it's damned if you do, damned if you don't, because then women who choose to get work done, then it's like, oh, look at, she got work done. And it's like, okay, well, if she didn't, you were going to talk crap about her. So
that's right.
She did, and now you're still talking crap about her. So
right, that's
live
so
your
true.
life.
Yeah, exactly. Too, it makes you feel good and feel beautiful and all of that. Like, it is to each their own.
That's it. Everyone should do what makes them feel good, and no one else. Everybody else needs to mind their own business.
Mind their own damn business.
That's right. Do you find that motherhood is that coming into your material a lot more now?
I feel like too much. Yes. This next hour that I'm working on has definitely become a motherhood hour, but it's because I always talk about my life and what is relevant in my life in that season. And so like my last hour was I moved to the South. So it's very much about me moving to the South. That was relevant in my life at the time and what was going on. My husband and I living in a studio apartment. And so how our dynamic shifted and me being a fish out of water. So that was my last hour because that's what was going on. Before that, I was having a lot of mental health issues. So I talked about my anxiety a lot. I talked about my fear of death. I talked about because that what was going on in my life. And right now, the new thing in my life is that I'm a mom and this is how I've changed. And this is how I'm learning different things. This is what's surprising me. This is what I didn't know. This is where I regret certain things. Like, so my hour now is definitely a lot about me becoming a mom, but that's because that's where I'm at in life. And I always just talk about my life. And I feel like that's what my fan base has appreciated about me. And then I got in my head, you guys will understand as comedians, like where I'm like, I don't want my whole hour now to be just, oh, I'm a mom. This is my new identity. This is all I talk about now. Right. Like that kind of thing. But at the same time, I feel like my fan base trusts that when I talk about my life, they're going to be entertained, whether they are a mom, whether they don't care about kids, whether they have 10 kids, like whatever it is. I feel like they trust that whatever I'm talking about, it's my point of view that they're interested in.
Sure, that's right.
So,
Yeah.
and I'm sure there's going to be some people that are like, oh, it's too, you just talk about being a mom now. And that's fine.
But you know, when I went through ovarian cancer, then I had 20 minutes on going through cancer. I mean, I think we take our lives and that's where we look for humor. That's what we're experiencing, and so I think everyone, even if they're not a mom, they have a mom. They have friends who are moms. So and your point of view is the most important thing for it. So I'm sure it'll be hilarious and wonderful.
Yeah. Oh, I can't wait. I mean, that's look. I'm a professional aunt. I used to say professional aunt, no kids. So I'm part of the village that helps raise the village, right? And those people are the unsung heroes. But then I got married, second marriage, and inherited 3 stepkids.
Oh, wow.
As teenagers.
Whoa.
So I'm now in the middle of writing my hour. This hour is like, I was thrilled to be child free. And I always say child free because I was never childless. It was a decision of like, I love y'all, but I don't want to do this. And it's really interesting talking because no one talks about it. Like being a step parent's a whole different bag of chips. And I'm like, oh, is everybody going to be like this? This isn't what I signed up for. But I'm like, who cares? This is where I'm at right now.
How long have you been a stepmom?
5 years. Well, 4 years now. Four years full. Yeah, but it's.
How's that been? Like, do they like you?
They do. Praise God. I could have gotten a crappy.
Right.
Yeah, no, because I got them all as teenagers. Like kind of the worst.
That's hard.
Right. I mean, I inherited. I met this man thinking, oh, you're darling. You're neat. And then, oh, by the way, I have 3 kids. And I thought, oh, this is a hiccup. Yeah. You don't get to choose who you fall in love with. That's for dang sure. And
especially teenagers. Ooh. And those hormones and underdeveloped brains.
And I got 2 boys, 2 boys and a girl. So you get a little bit of everything. It was a mixed bag. And you have to also realize too, they have this weird, and we're all obviously much better now. 5 years. I've known them 5 years, obviously, but my husband and I have been married 4. You realize too, they had this weird moment of they loved me, and we all talk about it now, but it puts them in a weird place because if they love me, does that mean they love their mom less? Right. It's a weird, and I'm like, no, I'm not your mom. I'm this, like, I always tell them, I'm your bumpers on the bowling alley, right? You got 2 great parents that just weren't meant to be together anymore. And I'm here in case the cheese really goes off the cracker. And I'm like, hey, don't act up. Don't be a butthole. Like, I will be the first one to text them, like, don't be a jackass to either of their parents if I see something kind of sliding. But they're exceptional kids. And I'm grateful they listen. Could you imagine if they didn't?
You probably talked about this on your podcast so many times, but now I'm so interested. You have a good relationship with their mom?
I don't.
Okay. All right.
I'll tell you about it. We've never talked about it. Look, I love Anjelah because you're just in it. You're like me. I like to get right to the juice. So, and I've never talked about this, but I will.
Okay.
That they, I showed up, they were far divorced, right? I had nothing to do. They lived in Atlanta, Georgia. I met him at a charity event here in LA. Like it wasn't, I was like, you're undesirable geographically. You live in Georgia. Nice meeting you. But I don't know. I've never really examined why. I think in the beginning she handled it all very poorly, that he just got in a relationship and was happy.
Yeah.
And so there was a lot of dynamics put in place with the kids of like that they had to be put in this awkward position.
Were you his first relationship after her?
I was like somebody that was like, wait a hot second. This person's sticking, you know?
Yeah.
So I'm sure that's a lot of it. And I wasn't Helga the Bridge troll and, a horrible person. I think you want whoever's next to be like a butthole and not like a good. And she and I have only literally been around each other one time, which was the middle baby's graduation from high school.
Okay. All right.
So I manage a lot because I love the kids. And it's not their bag, like it's a lot of management. Matter of fact, I got the younger 2 here right now in California visiting.
Oh, okay.
And they do a great job, I think, of managing everybody's expectations that I don't want them to have to. And I always tell them, take a breath.
Yeah.
It's
That's
good.
interesting. But you'll be quick to still defend their mom if they're acting like a butthole.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, and I know I'm sounding like I'm Pollyanna, but they really are exceptional kids. Like, they're annoying Gen Z. Don't get me wrong.
Don't get me wrong. I don't understand a word they say.
Oh, half of what they say, and 90% of their life is this. And you're like, can you look up? You're going to have a horrid neck issues. Like, there's a lot of that. So I'm not saying, but they are, like, they really respect their parents. They're respectful of grandparents, respectful to me.
Great.
They're wonderful kids. It's just the little ish that's been put in their way that you're like, I'll be right here if y'all need me.
Good. Yeah, that's good. I had a friend who, she had a stepdaughter, and the stepdaughter did not like her. And it was not a great relationship the whole time that she was married to the man, and they ended up getting divorced, whatever. But she used to tell me that her stepdaughter was syrupy sweet because she was like sweet but real sticky. Like she's just being... this is not genuine. She's being syrupy sweet.
That's true. When you can, I always call it, and I call it saccharine because that'll kill you. It's when it's that saccharine sweet that you're like, are you putting stuff in my drink? Because you know,
it's
right?
one of those. It's like, here, I made you some tea. You're like, did you?
I drink bottled water only. Thank you.
Do you want more kids, Anjelah?
You know, I don't know. Like, I want Rosie to have a sibling, especially a sister, because I have an amazing sister and I love our relationship, and I would love for Rosie to have something like that. But then at the same time, I don't know if I could do it.
Maybe we need a best friend.
Exactly. It's hard, and I loved being pregnant, but the postpartum, that was rough. So I don't know that I want to do that again. But then at the same time, I'm like, I go through this conversation in my head, like, I don't want to rob Rosie of an amazing experience of having a sibling just because I was afraid of going through 6 months to 2 years again of postpartum issues. And so I don't know. Then it's also hard, just like with our lifestyle of traveling so much and going back and forth from California to Nashville, back and forth, and uprooting our lives every few months is difficult. And I'm like, it's hard to do that with one kid. Imagine with two, like, my God. And especially she's at this age right now where she's like, needs to be entertained and has a lot of energy. She wants to move around. So now, like, on a plane is just like, she busted my lip 2 times getting here, just her being crazy wild. And I'm like, oh my God. So I'm like, I literally don't know if I could physically do it again. But then there's part of me that really would love for her to have a sister. But then it's like, okay, then what if you do have a kid? What if it's a boy? And
I was just about to say, what did we do if it's a brother?
Like, well, I guess she has a brother. But I mean, and I have 2 brothers, and I love my brothers. And I have a great relationship with my brothers. So I think whatever sibling she would have a great relationship. But I just know I have my sister's my best friend. I'm like, oh, I would love for Rosie to have that.
Well, it's not anything you have to figure out today. And
That's
it's
right.
It's one of those things where you might just need to surrender and see what happens.
Say it, Karen.
Yeah, and God might just choose it for you. And you're
That's
like,
right.
oh, ooh.
That's right. That's what I mean. You know, a lot of times when I always say get out of your head because nothing good happens there.
Yeah. Cross-stitch that on a pillow.
Yeah.
That's good.
Angela, what was the big impetus for y'all to move to Nashville?
Let's see. My husband's in the music industry, and most of his writing sessions happen out here. We both tour out of Nashville. Like when we do buses, it's always out of Nashville. We have a community here. We have really good friends here. And it just felt like it was closer to my in-laws because they're in Texas, and now they have since moved to Nashville as well. So now they live right next door to us.
Oh, that's helpful, isn't it?
It's the best.
I was going to say, that's it. Well, see, now you can have that second baby. They can just pop them next door. What a time to be alive.
Well, the problem is we waited so long to have kids that now they're a lot older. So it's not really like what you would think. Like if we were younger and had these kids, then sure, it would be grandma and grandpa on duty. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But no, we're still on duty.
Yep.
But it's so great to have them here. So it just felt right, you know?
And how much do you divide your time between Nashville and LA?
About half and half, but it's leaning more towards Nashville.
Is it?
For sure. Yeah.
I can understand that.
Yeah.
I know.
Well, it's so happening for comedy. Nashville is. I mean, it is just the greatest city for Zanies. What all they do down there, plus Outback concerts in Nashville. I mean, it's just the best.
That's an amazing place for families, and that's
And
what
it is.
we love.
My husband's best friend lives out in Thompson Station.
Oh yeah, that's far.
It's far. So when we come out, I always say, again, it's like going out, going to town for supplies.
Yeah.
You got to make a commitment to come in
Yeah.
town. So they're always like, stay. I'm like, oh, Lord God, okay, I've got to pack a sack lunch and bottle water to go do a set.
Yeah.
But I love Nashville. It's too much.
Oh, most people, I mean, I know all your fans would know this, but for anyone listening that may not know, how about sharing with us how you got started? I mean, first of all, you were an Oakland Raider cheerleader.
I was.
Yeah.
Yes. That's how my entertainment industry started. Is I was a cheerleader for the Oakland Raiders, and I was young. I was 20 years old. And I really just tried out for the Raiders because I wanted to be an actress. And so this was like my sign. Like, if I make this squad, then I'll do it for 1 year, and then I'm going to move to Hollywood. I'm going to try to be an actress. And if I don't make the squad, then I'll just look for something else to do, because I will take this as my sign that acting and the entertainment industry is not for me. So I made the squad. We went to the Super Bowl that year. It was the best year to pick to be a cheerleader for the Oakland Raiders. Came home from the Super Bowl the very next week, and I packed up my room, put it in my station wagon. It was my hand-me-down car from my mom. And I drove to LA, and I started from the ground up as an extra. I was an extra on the show Friends.
Oh my gosh! Well, how have I not realized you were on Friends? I'm
Seasons
a
9
freak.
and 10. You'll see me in the background. Season 9 and 10.
This is Karen's going to be Karen's new game, Angela. She's
oh
going
my
to be
gosh.
watching.
You'll find me and you will die. I have
I will.
really long brown hair, like to the middle of my back, really dark brown hair. And I'm like a coffee house regular. So I'm just walking through the back.
Oh my
my
gosh!
coffee.
I can't believe I hadn't gone. There's Anjelah already.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah. And I'll have people sometimes like post a picture on Instagram stories, and then they'll tag me and circle me, and they'll be like, they're watching Friends. They're like, is this you? And I'm like, yeah, that's me.
That's amazing. I love that.
Yep, that's 20-year-old me right there. So that's how I started. And it was the best experience ever. It's still one of my favorite jobs I've ever had in my entire life. And it was just the beginning of my career. And then after that,
We love a dog. Don't you worry.
I'm so
I was
sorry.
like, is that my dog?
No, it's mine.
That's
I'm so
Karen's.
sorry.
She's got a dog named Jackass. Well, I'm sorry. It's Jack, but Jackass, and he's appropriately named, Angela, because he'll just carry on.
I'm so sorry.
Jack, we are recording.
We're recording.
Hilarious.
Oh my
I
God.
really thought that was my dog for a second, because it came in so clear with the
Yeah, because the headset's so good.
yeah,
Karen,
it came
the-
in so clear that I was like, wait.
You're like, what? I'm about to cuss him. Your
I'm like,
dog's.
I don't see my dog in the camera.
And he's like, I didn't do it. Don't yell at me.
Okay, so then I was at this church at the time. It's called the Oasis, and it's
Wait a second. Oasis Christian? And
yes.
I was at Oasis. I taught Sunday school at Oasis Christian.
Wow, look at us. Same church.
I'm so sorry. I was like, that's so
On
specific.
Wilshire Boulevard.
Yes.
Yeah, honey.
Okay,
What
keep
year?
going.
What year?
Oh gosh, Sherry Shepherd and I taught at the same time. If that tells you how long ago
Adorable.
Christ was a child. This was
You literally taught Jesus. You taught.
I did that, and we both look amazing.
That's how old it was.
It was. I want to say it was like 2003.
That's when I was there. Okay. So
this is awesome.
Tuesday nights, they would do their creative arts night, where there was dance class, acting class. I was in the
Yes.
acting class. Were you in the acting class?
No.
Okay,
I'm
okay.
so tickled by this. I would have met you. I'd have gone had I known.
Did you do stand up yet at this point?
I did. I was already doing stand up.
Okay, see, I was not. So Lisa Alvarado went to that
Yes.
church. Okay. And she was teaching a joke writing stand-up comedy class at the church. And she saw me in the acting class. And I was funny in the acting class. And I would do like the improv games and stuff. And she was like, hey, do you want to come take my joke writing class? And I was like, I don't know. Is it free? And she's like, yeah, it's just in this room over here. And I'm like, oh, okay. Yeah, I guess so. I didn't want to be a comedian. She just asked me if I wanted to take the class, and it was a free class on Tuesdays. So I was like, okay. So I went to her class, and I remember she would teach us everything from stage etiquette to how to loosen the mic stand, to how to take the mic out and put the mic stand over here, how you stay on stage until the next comic comes up, and then you shake hands and make sure you put the mic back in the mic stand. You wait there. You don't ever leave the stage empty. You wait there until they come on stage, and then you shake hands and you trade places. Like, she taught us etiquette from that to joke writing technique to like the rule of three, reversals, like all these different things. And she would teach us, okay, now this week we're going to write a joke about our name. Everybody write a joke about your own name. And in that class, I was like, hey, I do this nail salon character that I think I could make into a joke. And she was like, nail salon jokes are so hacky. I would steer clear of nail salon jokes. Everybody has one. They're so hacky. Just don't do it. She taught us what hacky meant. We didn't know what hacky meant. Like, it's so hacky. Trust me, you don't want to do a nail salon joke. And I was like, well, I don't know that anybody does it like me because I'm really good at it. So I was like, I'll just do it anyway. And at the end of that class, it was like maybe a month or 2 months. I don't remember how long it was, to be honest. But at the end of the class, we had to perform at a real comedy club. And the comedy club was the Queen Mary in Long Beach, the ship. And there was a comedy club on board.
I didn't even know there was a club on the ship.
Yes. And so we had our graduation there, and it was a bringer show. So everybody had to bring at least 10 people. But it was a warm room because all of our guests knew we were all graduating a class. So it was like everybody knew to be good laughers. Like, we're not heckling. We're being gracious. All these jokes may not hit, but we're gracious. And so everybody wrote material throughout the duration of the class, and then she's like, I'm going to pick your 5-minute set I'm going to go through all your material. We're going to talk it through, and I'm going to pick your 5-minute set, and you're going to perform this set. Right. And that was the thing. And when it got to me, I had written about 12 minutes of material, and she was like, just do all your material, do all your jokes. And so my set was 12 minutes long.
That's
my
amazing.
First graduation set. And I did really well. And had I not done well, I would have never pursued stand-up. I would have been like, okay, I took a class one time, but that's it. It's not for me. I would have never done it again. If I didn't do well, I would have never done it again. I'd have been like, okay, I did it. Next.
I love you're a signs person. You're a very I love this about you. I'm more, not that I don't love your comedy, but I love that this is who you are as a person, that it has to be that clear, direct.
Oh, yeah.
Where did that come from?
I don't know. I mean, like church, like asking God for signs. But at the same time, it's like we learn to like ask God for signs, but then don't rely on signs. Like, rely on Holy Spirit talking to you and like all the things. But at the same time, I'm very much like a signs person. And, even if I know it's not real, like anytime I see a monarch butterfly, I'm like, hey, grandma, like, I know, you know what I mean? Like it's,
well, what I love is that you ask for that and you put yourself out there, but you're willing to let it go. So you don't have the attachment, and that is so healthy. And because then you can really use it as guidance. When we get so attached to the outcome, then you hurt yourself by you're not really following the sign.
That's right. It's
you're
like
fighting the sign.
Give me a sign. I will move in this direction until I see that sign. Yeah. And you're just, you know what I mean? It's like,
I don't like the sign. I need a signier sign.
Yeah. I asked for a sign, but I didn't like that one.
Oh yeah. You have a different sign.
Yeah. Can you just like a slot machine? Like, let me try that one. Hold on.
Yeah. So that's very, very cool. I love those stories, and that you were willing to walk through the door when it was there, and if it's closes, take a left. You know?
Right. Bye.
Yeah.
It wasn't for me.
It wasn't for
Moving
me.
on.
But yeah, I don't care if everyone on the planet has written a nail salon joke. No one is Bon Qui Qui. I mean,
Well,
that is
you've
so
got,
hilarious.
I was going to say, nailed salon joke's fine. Bon Qui Qui, my husband, whose country is cornbread, he goes, who are you talking to today? I said, Anjelah Johnson. He goes, Anjelah Johnson. I go, yeah. He goes, my husband, who's a rocker, by the way, goes, Bon Qui Qui, my husband. And I go, yeah. Like it was jarring how I said, that's so wild. The far reachingness.
Yeah.
It's the gift that keeps on giving, I suppose.
It really is. And it's interesting because there is a season where the PC-ness really just took control. And I was like, okay, I'm borderline going to be canceled now. And this joke definitely would, Bon Qui Qui and the nail salon joke, had those come out 2 years ago.
Oh,
it would have never done what it did. It would have never done what it did. But because it came out when it did,
yes,
before the PC police came out and all of that, it was able to become a pop culture.
well, be what it is, a joke.
You know what I mean? Like, yeah, it's a joke, but it's shifted pop culture in a way to where it's like, I think about, like, I quote Wayne's World every day of my life.
Yeah.
Every day of my life, like subconsciously, I'll say something and I'll be like, game on, and just full on.
Oh, yeah, a swing. I've given a swing.
Dumb and Dumber and Wayne's World, I will quote throughout my everyday life.
Right.
And Bon Qui Qui and the nail salon have both become those types of things for millions of people. And to the point where if I am in a new city and I need to get my nails done and I Google nail salon, my video is going to come up. And I'm like, no, I don't want to watch myself.
I actually just need my nails done.
Yeah.
But even with all and I understand when we have to be kind and mindful and I get it. But also I am so tied into what the intention is. And to me, there's nothing about those bits that are mean-spirited.
No,
there's not, so that whole cancel thing, when it's just, you're just finding the funny. And so I don't, I hate all that.
When I say to back that up, it'd be one thing if they were just standalones and you had no skill set to back it up.
Sure.
But to then go watch any of your hours and you're like, hold my earrings, hold my beer. Like they're just, do you know what I mean? Like that to me is such a testament to who you are and the way you do comedy is it was like, okay, yeah, this is how you know I exist. Now sit down and have a glass of Act Right.
Thank you.
And because you are, it's just amazing to watch and see. So I think that also is a testament to who you are and how you've made such an amazing and still growing career. I can't wait for the Mother Hour.
And you first did that on MADtv, correct?
Yes. Yep. It started, I was on MADtv in 2008. 2008?
Was that our writer's strike?
JK. 2007, I was on MADtv. Yes, it was the writer's strike.
Writer's strike, yeah.
So I did 4 episodes. Then the writer's strike happened, and everybody went home. And then when the writer's strike was done, everybody came back except for me and like 2 other people because there were budget cuts, and I was the budget cut. So I didn't come back after that. So I only did 4 episodes on MADtv. When that Bon Qui Qui sketch aired, nobody knew that they were sitting on a gold mine. Somebody put it on YouTube, and it flew. Like, it just went insane all over the world. And then people were like, when are you going to do another Bon Qui Qui sketch? When do we get another one? And we're like, oh, we don't, because I'm not on the show anymore. And MADtv executives were like, and I remember talking to one of the creators of the show, of MADtv, and the executive producer, who was such a supporter of me and was so lovely, and was telling me like how he fought for me during the strike, that he was like trying to convince, Fox executives, like, no, this one, like, we should keep her.
She's a keeper. Yeah.
Yeah. And they were just like, nope, like all the new recruits gone. And cause that was my first season, and 2 other people, it was their first season as well. So we were all gone. They just kept the regulars that have always been on the show. And after that, sure enough, that character blows up and there's nothing anybody can do about it.
Wait, you were not the one that put that up on YouTube?
No.
Are there reparations for that? Because I feel like you could have a small island off of that clip alone.
Well, that and the nail salon. I didn't put the nail salon up either. Yeah, I have no dollars for that.
So you get behind
the
me.
dollars that I have from that are from the loyal fans that I have built because they saw those and now they come to my shows. So ticket sales is the currency that I have because of those videos. I never made 1 penny.
That is wrong.
That's so wrong. Does everyone, I want America, the world, global. I might actually, this is just going to be the clip alone for this whole episode. I think people have this image that when you work as hard as you have to create an amazing career that you have, and people just automatically assume we all like, oh, you have a public facing job. You have, sacks of cash. You sit on them, stuff your mattress. And something that's so original, like both of those bits that you have never monetized is literally shocking and not okay, by the way. That's not okay.
Because I technically don't own either of those videos. Even though it's me, it's my image. The nail salon is my joke that I wrote. What happened is in 2006 is when I took that class. When that nail salon video came out, I had only been doing stand-up for 4 months.
Wow.
That's how brand new I was. I had just done my free class at church. And I was broker than a joke. Just no money. And then I get a call. They're like, hey, do you want to do a set at the Ice House for $25? And I was like, oh my God, are you kidding me? Yes. $25? I'm already mapping out my groceries and gas. I was like, that's like 6 top ramens, a box of Cheerios. Like
this is 2006.
Some gas. Yeah. Yeah. I'm like, that'll get me some gas to last me for the week. Like, let's go. So I go, and it's this company where this is before YouTube. They're like, okay, we're going to film you and upload these to Verizon wireless cell phones. So anybody who has a Verizon wireless phone, and this is during flip phone era.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
They can download a comedy clip for $1.99 and they can watch comedy clips on their phone. It was like this brand
innovative
new technology, super innovative. So we signed these contracts for $25 that whatever footage they took, they own that footage. And it was, who would have known it was going to do what it was going to do, right? So anyways, they then go and they're getting ready to upload these all to Verizon Wireless. And then this brand new thing called YouTube comes out. And they're like, well, who's going to pay $1.99 to watch a comedy clip on their phone when they can just go to YouTube and watch it for free? So let's take all of these clips that we just filmed and upload them to YouTube, and people can watch them on our YouTube channel. So that company who filmed me, they're the ones who made all the money off of that video because they own the video. And so it just went all over the world. And again, like, I didn't make any money off of that, but I did make a loyal fan base. Because we all saw that video. So
beauty for ashes.
Let me tell you, I'm very grateful. They can keep I would gladly, if I could do it again, I would gladly do it the same exact way. Let them keep their money that they made from the YouTube if I get to keep my loyal fan base that has been riding with me for the past 17 years so hard, coming out to my shows every year, supporting what I do. I put out a book, I put out a podcast, I put out whatever. They love me and support me. I would gladly choose them over those dollars any day.
Wow.
And that's a testament to who you are right there.
It is. And that's living gratitude, just what you talk about. So
yes, for sure.
That's right. And looking at it in the most positive way. So let me ask you this, because, as a comedian, we're always need that great closer. And do you ever find that you try to move beyond the nail salon or Bon Qui Qui, or
was hard.
or that you can't follow your own bit? I mean,
It was hard in the beginning, for sure. Well, first came the nail salon. And then it was like, what am I ever going to do to top
To top it.
to top it. Mm-hmm.
What can I do? And what's crazy is at that time, the nail salon video reached so many people and it changed my life. It's part of the reason why I even got on MADtv in the first place, because I saw the nail salon video. The testimony of that is it's 2007. I have no money in my bank account. I'm on unemployment. My unemployment checks had run out. I'm all done. I moved to Hollywood to be an actress, and I was an extra on a couple different shows. I made some relationships with different assistant directors that would take me on to their next show and the next show because they liked me. So they're like, okay, well, now I'm working on this show. You come work on this show. And then all of my relationships kind of like, well, we're out of work too, so I don't have anything for you. So now I'm at this place where I don't have job. I don't have agent to get me auditions. I don't have any of that. And my unemployment checks were down. So I have nothing. Really, all I had was my sister, my best friend, who would send me money to pay my rent. She would send me gift certificates to the grocery store so that I could get food. Like, she was keeping me out there chasing my dreams. She's like, no, don't give up yet. Like, it's not yet. And it was that, along with my spirit, that I just really felt like God was saying, I'm not done yet. Like, I know it looks bad. I know it looks like things are not going your way. All signs are pointing to go back home. You gave it a good go, but this ain't it. Like, that's what your circumstance looks like. But my spirit was like, he's not done yet. Not done yet. Just hold on. So this is January of 2007. I have nothing in my bank account, nothing in my career, nothing in my life saying you're on the right track. Keep going. This video comes out on YouTube. And within 1 month, there's 4 million views on this video. And at the time, that's incredible.
Oh, yeah.
Where, like,
earth-shattering.
now somebody could put up a funny video of their daughter saying something sassy, and then by the next morning, it's got 26 million views on it, because we're all used to social media now.
Yeah.
But this is before social media. This is via email. This is people emailing this clip to someone. So this is at a time where you got to email. If you got a video in it, you're like, I could get a video in an email? What is this?
What is this?
There were no commercials. There was no nothing. You just click it and you watch a video. It was during that time. So for 4 million views in 1 month in that time,
Astronomical.
incredible. So all of a sudden, this is during MySpace. My MySpace page starts blowing up. People are messaging me from all over the world. Like, hey, when are you coming to Australia? When are you coming to the Philippines? When are you coming to Cincinnati, Ohio? When are you coming to Atlanta? When are you coming? Like, all of these people started seeing this video and they wanted me to come perform in their city. I had 12 minutes of material that I wrote in a free class. I was not a touring comedian.
Right.
I was an open micer who just took a free class at church. And this one video is going all over the world. Like, what are you talking about? When am I coming to Australia? To do what? What would I do in Australia? So I get all these messages all over the world. And then I start getting messages from network executives, assistants. Hey, I'm the assistant to so-and-so at Fox, at CBS, at NBC, at this production company, that production company. I'm the executive's assistant, blah, 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 blah. They want to meet with you. So now I start getting meetings all over Hollywood with, like, these bigwig people. I have no idea what's going on. Like, I had to go to Staples and buy a calendar because I had meetings to go to. I didn't even have a calendar. This is before iCal, okay? There's no iCal.
No.
There's no Google
We didn't have
Cal.
smartphones.
No. This is, I got to go to Staples and buy me one of those real big calendars that you put on your desk.
Those were
and you
fun,
write
though.
for meetings. Yeah. It was very gratifying, writing it.
Yeah, to fill in a calendar like that.
So now I have meetings all over town, and I'm going to these meetings not knowing what I'm doing. And it's like, I remember going to this one meeting at, what was CW before it was it WB?
It was the WB. You're right. It was
WB.
WB.
I had a meeting with an executive there, and they saw my video, and I remember her being like, we have this pilot that we're casting. I would love for you to read for it. Hands me the script. And she's like, you can like step outside for a minute if you need and then come in and read it. I don't know that this is called cold reading.
Yeah.
Like I have no idea what this project is about, what the character is about. I haven't had time to coach with an acting coach to like help me like really like break down what's happening. She hands me a script and I go in the hallway and I'm like, okay. So I just start like reading a couple pages and then I come in and I'm like, okay. And I just read this audition for her. Obviously it was horrible. And she was like, okay, thank you. Thank you so much. Like, thank you for coming in. Great. But so then this starts happening. I start getting all these meetings. I start like, I remember being on the phone with my sister and telling her about all this that was happening and telling her like, I'm getting so many messages from all over the world and I'm replying to people, but then it's getting so much. And I didn't know how to be famous. I didn't know that you don't have to reply to every person who messages you from all over the world. I didn't know that. So I'm writing, thank you so much for the support. Thank you so much for the support. And then it starts getting too much to type. So then I'm like, oh, I got it. Copy, paste, boom. Thank you so much for the support. Boom. Thank you so much for the support. Boom. Then I start getting repeat fans. And this one girl is like, is this a robot? Because you already said this to me. And I'm like, girl, I'm so sorry. I don't know how to be famous. I'm just trying to like, reply to everybody. And it's like, I have no idea what is going on in my life. And I remember telling my sister, this is either a little phase that I'm going through, or this is the beginning of the rest of my life. And that's exactly what it was. My life changed completely after that. So January is when this video came out. By February, I now had an agent and a manager. By March, I had booked MADtv, and I was now a cast member on MADtv. Now, keep in mind, I had never done any kind of sketch comedy school, never did Groundlings, Second City, any of that kind of stuff. I took a free joke writing class at a church. That's the only training that I had.
Shout out to Lisa Alvarado, by the way.
That's the only training that I had. I go to this audition. I end up booking MADtv. How I book it, they say you got to do 3 original characters and 3 celebrity impressions. I've never done celebrity impressions. I still don't do celebrity impressions. But at the time, this brand new thing called YouTube was happening. So I was like, okay, let me just think of a Latina celebrity that I could imitate. Jennifer Lopez. I could pretend to be her.
Sure.
Rosalind Sanchez.
Oh, yeah. Good one.
And then I said Paula Abdul, who was at the time the judge on American
Idol.
And so I was like, okay, Paula Abdul was known for being a little bit intoxicated on American Idol. And she would do her drunk clap over her head.
Yes, yes.
And so I would do drunk Paula. And then I watched Jennifer Lopez on the red carpet over and over and over on different interviews. I would find her on the red carpet to get like her mannerisms, the way she would speak, the way she would laugh, the way she would wave. And then I started to notice that she waves like this, not like this. Yes. These twinkles, she waves this. And so I'd be like, okay, here's my Jennifer Lopez wave. And then I noticed like how she would laugh. It would be like kind of high pitch in the back of her throat. It'd be like a raspy, scratchy kind of laugh.
It's so true.
And I was like, okay, so that's her laugh. And then I saw this one interview that the guy is interviewing her, and he's like talking about the camera. He's like, hey, this is, they're watching you live in Philly right now. Can you say hi to Philly? And then she just goes, hi, Philly. And starts laughing. And I was like, okay, I'm going to do that for Jennifer Lopez. I'm going to be Jennifer Lopez on the red carpet. And then Rosalind Sanchez, I started watching just clips and clips of her on Without a Trace. And I noticed that she would speak with her chin up a lot, and she would look down over her nose. And she would talk like that, like with her face up and look down over her nose. And I noticed that her English speaking was very fast because she speaks Spanish. So her English was very fast. And I noticed that it would come in the front of her mouth. Like she would speak very much like this in the front of her mouth. And very like this. True. And I was like, okay, so I'll be Rosalind Sanchez on Without a Trace. And these will be my 3 celebrity impressions. And I have no training on how to do celebrity impressions. I just went on YouTube and was like trying to figure out, being an observational comedian, observing things that they would do. I'm like, all right, so this is what I'm going to do. And then my 3 original characters were just jokes that I wrote in my comedy class. I did a joke about my grandpa, so I just changed it to my grandma because I could play a woman. So I was like, all right, I'll just make my grandpa my grandma, and I'm going to do the joke that I wrote about my grandpa, but I'm just going to act it out. So now I'm just acting out my grandma. And then I forget the other one that I did, but the one that really took off and I think helped me book it was I said, this is my sister. She wants to be a rapper. And that was Bon Qui Qui. So I just did a rap for them, and I did her sassy Bon Qui Qui and then I ended up booking it. And then I booked the show. We're in the writer's room, and it was the writer's strike was creeping up on us. We knew here comes the writer's strike. Yeah. So all the writers were like pumping out scripts as fast as they could, but they're writing for the actors that they know how to write for. Okay, I know she could do this. I know she could do that. Let me write these out. And like they would try to write for me. I remember one of the writers asking me like, hey, can you do Tila Tequila? Who was very popular.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, I don't know. I've never really done it, but see, because they don't know how to write for me. They just met me. So then I end up being like detective number 2 in this sketch, or Native American girl in this sketch. And they let us write our own sketches. So I wrote Bon Qui Qui at King Burger. And I said, I'm going to submit this sketch. And the way we would do it, it would be a table read, and they would be a stack, like a whole binder of sketches that everybody wrote. All the writers pitching sketches, all the actors pitching sketches, because everybody wants their sketch to make it to the episode. So we sit around the table, everybody had, and you assign actors to read for it. So I would be like, okay, Keegan, you're going to read Dewan, Michael McDonald, you're going to read the manager, and you cast your episode with your fellow cast members so they can read it. So we're sitting at the table read. Then it comes time for Bon Qui Qui at King Burger. Everybody has their role. We read the sketch. It ends up getting picked. And I remember they sat me down with one of the writers to like punch it up and really give it some structure. I've never written a sketch before, so I didn't really have like all the structure that it needed. So they're like, this is good, but we got to like add a little zhuzh to it. So they sat me down with a real writer and helped me like sculpt it. Then we filmed it. It aired. Nobody expected it to do what it did. And it blew up. So bringing it back to the question of like, how do you feel like you're going to top yourself, right? It was the nail salon. How could I ever beat this? I don't even know what I would do next. Next thing you know, Bon Qui Qui comes out. And it's like, then how could I beat Bon Qui Qui? What do I do to beat Bon Qui Qui? And then I received the best advice from someone who was like, when you wrote the nail salon, you weren't trying to beat anything. When you did Bon Qui Qui, you weren't trying to outshine anything. You were just being. So don't get caught up in how do I top that? Just keep creating. Just keep being.
So good.
Good advice.
And that's what I've been doing. And so I don't ever worry now about like, how am I going to top this? I just have fun. I talk about what makes me laugh. I talk about what brings me joy.
Yes.
And I just trust that the gold is going to come. And then I have these anchors, these pieces, these nostalgic core memories for fans. Like this nail salon joke is a core memory for someone.
Yeah, that's right.
They have their moment with their mom that they used to watch this video clip and they loved it so much that they would quote it. And still till this day, here they are 17 years later. Every now and then one of them will say, hey, hand me an apple. How many? Just one. And they say it in the tone of my joke.
Right.
And so many things. Your friends, like, oh, she has a new boyfriend. Oh, you have boyfriend? Like now they say it like that.
Of course.
And it's become this thing that is a part of people's lives. The joke is bigger than a joke now.
That's
it's
right.
Now just embedded into pop culture, and it is a part of people's lives in the same way Dumb and Dumber and Wayne's World are a part of my life. Now the nail salon are a part of other people's lives. And I'm so honored that I have a piece of history in that way.
Yes.
That is embedded into people's lives. And that's where I say the joke has become bigger than a joke. If that joke were to have come out in the past 5 years, it would have never become what it is today. But because it came out when it did, it has that longevity. It has roots. It has something that you can't really just brush off and say like, canceled, because it has roots. You're like, no, this one isn't one of those toss away ones.
That's
like,
right.
This is something that's going to last. And I'm very grateful that it has.
Well, and the thing with comics too, you know, when you go to a concert, you want to hear your favorite song. But with comedians, a lot of times with social media, we feel so much pressure to always bring the new stuff because people have seen it online. Yeah. But that's one of those that if you don't do it, people are going to be disappointed.
Yep. I have to.
Yeah.
I always will now.
Yeah.
There was a season where I stopped doing it. And I'll tell you this one real quick. This was early on in my career, probably within the first 4 years of headlining and touring. And I was hearing the murmuring in the streets of other comedians who had a lot to say about me. I knew I wasn't liked and admired by everybody in my peers, you know. And it was very much like, oh, she just has that one joke. Like, she's not even woo, woo, woo. Like, it was a lot of that, right? Then I was like, all right, I'll show them. I don't even need this joke. Watch. I'll do my show without the joke, and I won't even need it, right? I was trying to prove myself to them. And I remember the first time I did it was in San Francisco at Cobb's Comedy Club. And this is years and years ago. And this is like Facebook now was the only really social media that we had. It went from MySpace to Facebook. We didn't have nothing else besides no Instagram.
That's right.
There, no. Okay, so I did it on stage. And I remember it didn't feel great. I didn't like not doing it. I knew I didn't need it myself, but I didn't like not doing it. Then I get a message on Facebook. And this girl was like, hey, my mom and I came to your show last night. We drove in like 4 hours to come and see you. We were so excited and it was a great show, but we were so disappointed that you didn't do the nail salon joke. That is something that my mom and I have bonded over. And we were so looking forward to finally being able to see it live. And then you didn't do it. And it was so disappointing. And it wasn't like she was being mean to me or a troll or anything like that. Like, she was just genuinely disappointed and communicating that. And I'm so glad she did, because after that, I felt so guilty and so awful. And it was a big wake-up call because I was like, dang, I'm over here listening to the wrong people. I'm over here listening to the people who don't support me. They don't buy tickets to my shows. They don't, like, if social media was a thing back then, they don't like my post. They don't repost me. They don't support when I'm doing something new. Say, hey, everybody, look at Anjelah's new podcast, new book, new tour, they don't point to me. They don't say like, hey, you're doing great. They don't support me in any way, shape, or form. Why am I catering to what they think and want?
That's right.
I need to be catering to my fan base, to the people who show me love and support. And oh my God, there's gnats all over.
It looked like you were doing the sign of the cross in Catholic Church. I was here for it.
But I'm like, I'm listening to the wrong people. I need to be listening to the ones who actually buy tickets to my shows. They come, they watch my Instagram stories. They leave me comments. Anytime I post something new, they're leaving me a comment going, oh my gosh, I love you. Oh my gosh, I can't wait till you come to my city. I can't wait to come to your show. Like, I bought your book. I just finished reading your book, blah, 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 blah. Like, those people, those are the ones that I care about, and that I'm like, let me make sure that I am consistently feeding them
That's right.
with what makes me happy, right? So it's not like, okay, what do you guys want from me? Let me give it to you. It's
Right.
not that. It's what makes me happy. And then of all people who I care about who receive it, I care about this group of people who receive it. You know what I mean? Like, I don't care how you guys receive it. You guys, this is what's making me happy these days. This is what I'm feeling. How do you guys like this? I knew it. I knew you'd love it. That's why I did it. You know what I mean? Like, that's kind of
Well, don't you think too, when you have that level of success, that rocket ship quickly, a lot of, especially comics, because they're not always the sweetest when somebody gets success right away. I'm the opposite. I have that very like high tides raise all ships. There's room for everybody.
Yep.
Not a lot of people have that motto. And I think when you just shot, I was working in makeover at the time. I was on a home makeover show hosting when you like catapulted, and I was madly in love with you. Thought you were brilliant. And people were like, she has one joke. And I was like, nobody has one joke. Are you like, I turned into like your big sister. You didn't know I existed. Because you go, she's badass. You want anybody, I believe, to excel because it only makes us all shine. And there's so many people that don't subscribe to that because you being you, shiny in the things that make you magical, let other people see the possibilities. Yeah. There could be somebody sitting right now in South Texas that thinks exactly what you just said about they're about to go to a stand-up class in a church and they don't think it's going to matter that they're going. They just need to get out of the house and their entire life could change. And what a blessing that you've always stuck to. It's something divinely appointed in you. I'm sure somebody else has already told that to you, but there's something divinely appointed in you that you know I have to keep following this thing that leads me, that's above me. Yeah. And sharing it. I think that's what's amazing.
Thank you. Thank you.
Well, you have been a joy, and you bring joy to so many people, and I'm so grateful to call you a friend, and I'm so glad that you came on today.
I'm so grateful I get to now know you because I've always been because I came up in Los Angeles just before Anjelah, so I've always been like, go girl, you effing get them. Like I'm always in those seats of like, go. So to now meet you is just a joy.
Thank you. Thank you. And now we know each other. Now look at us. Besties.
We're all besties now, which is so exciting for me too, because I told Karen, she goes, oh, I think we should have Anjelah on. I was like, Anjelah Johnson. Like I got a little fangirl. I had to calm myself down a little bit. I was like, calm down.
Karen's like, yeah, you want me to call her?
Yeah,
that's exactly what she did. And I was like, I'm gonna act casual because I freaking love Anjelah. You're just brilliant. And if y'all aren't listening to Funjelah, I love the premise behind it. I went on and just thought, oh yeah, Anjelah's doing a podcast. I'll listen. Now the heifer subscribes. I subscribe. I don't just listen because you are so good about adding the goodness and being so painfully honest, which I adore. People aren't enough. Yeah. Because I loved MADtitude. You know, I've never heard the word MADtitude until you.
Well, and it's so honest and authentic. I mean, and I think people crave that.
Thank you.
You know,
that was really like one of the goals of like having a podcast is I don't want to just be talking. Like I didn't want to be a comedy podcast where we just like be funny and like that's fun. But I do that on shows. You know what I mean? Like,
that's right.
I like to have deep conversations. Yeah. I have a hard time staying surface. Like, I like to go deep. I mean, like, within 5 minutes, I was like, but do your stepkids like you?
You know what I mean? But I love that. I love that. You and I would be in a ditch sideways, knee deep in the bottom of a pool. Anjelah, I'm here. I'm like, yes, talk to me about what got you there. Because it matters. It matters. Exactly. We do such a, I think, a great job as comedians to bring light and joy to people on a level that lets them forget whatever's kind of heavier in their lives. Yeah. So in the opposite is I love to go deep with people in what's that thing that you're maybe stepping around, what's that block, what's that thing. So I receive it. That's why we started What I Know So Far, because we feel like, you know, we've made it this far. There's experiences that got you here.
That's right.
Well, and so many people say to me, I can't believe you're a comedian, because I'm not always on. I'm not, and I'm so deep and introspective and so aware of pain and just wanting people to be okay. And I get so disheartened sometimes, but it just, when there are people like you that bring us joy and lift us up, then that just makes you feel better about humanity in general. So, but a lot of people don't realize that. And many comics are not just class clowns. I mean, we're very deep, caring people.
Yeah, that's right.
And we need to run through a few fun questions with Anjelah.
Will you close
and
the
let her
Fast
go?
Five with us, Anjelah? We do
let's
Fast
do
Five
it.
questions at the very
Okay.
end. And I think I'm going to pick out new ones. I had some on the thing that I'd given you, but these feel like more you. What would be your superpower? What is your superpower?
Oh, geez.
If you could have a superpower, what would it be?
Shoot. Here's the thing. Anytime they're like rapid fire, I'm like, it's so deep. I'm like, well, let's see. Hold on.
Well, that's okay. You
My
can take as much
child.
time as you want.
Yes, you're like, not X-ray vision. Mine was always like, I want to be able to speak every language so I can communicate with everybody in the world
Oh, that is interesting.
because I want to
That
make
is a
everyone.
superpower. I immediately go to, let's see, do I want to freeze time? You know,
Be invisible.
Be invisible. I don't want to be invisible because like people will be like, oh, to be a fly on the wall and listen to like that conversation. I think there's so many things that I'm so glad I don't know because it would just like torture me. It would like, there's certain things that I don't want to know what everyone thinks about me.
No.
Because
It's not good to know.
No, I don't need to know that. So it's definitely not going to be like invisibility so I can go like listen in on a different, I don't want to know. Just I'm on my own business over here. Superpower, I would say, I mean, I don't know. Something that would just give me infinite time with my family,
Oh, I love
be with
that.
my daughter, my husband, my loved ones, like freeze time in a way that's not everybody frozen, but freeze time in a way where I get to just keep experiencing this, you know?
That's a great one.
Yeah,
like it's
that
almost
is.
like a time capsule bubble power.
Yeah.
I love that.
Right.
What is the best advice you've ever been given?
I mean, well, that one was a good one that I said earlier.
Yes,
that,
it's really good.
You know, don't try to top yourself, but yeah, I'll sit with that one because that
Yeah,
one
it really was.
Yeah, it was. That was excellent.
Say it again. Just keep creating from where you are, and don't try to be better than anyone else, and don't even try to be better than yourself. Just keep creating.
I love that. And if you didn't do comedy or acting, what would you do as a profession?
Massage therapy.
Really?
I'm real good. Real good. Never had any training. That's like the story of my life.
I was just about to say, I was going to say,
I just
you just become.
Yeah. Story of my life. I'm really good at giving massages, but I feel like it's almost like, not to get too woo woo or like spiritual, but I feel like I do have healing hands, and anytime I massage, I love it's touch is my love language. I love to, so even if you're a stranger, I laugh, I'm going to hit you when I laugh. I'm going to hold on to you when oh my gosh, I'll touch your arm. I touch is
Physical touch. I'm the same way. I'm the same.
and I'm really good at like sensing where I'm needed. I'm meaning like when I'm massaging, right?
You can feel the tension.
It's not even the tension. I'm like led where to go and what to do. And I don't know even what, I've never had any training, but I'm doing something and they're like, oh my God. And I remember one time and I'm not afraid of feet, right? I've massaged my friends' feet because first it'd be like, I know what feels good to me. Like when I go get my massages done. So I'm like, let me do that to my friend because I like to, again, touch is my love language. So I'll be massaging my friend's feet. And I had this one friend who's like uber spiritual, and I would like massage, and I got this one part in her foot that I was like, I found it. And she was just like, right? And I was like, yep, that's it. And I was pushing on it. And she's like, it's so weird that every time you push in this one spot, I went back to this 4th grade memory. And I kept going back to this memory in 4th grade. And the body, let me tell you, body keeps a score.
Yes.
Body holds memories.
Yep.
Body holds all kinds of stuff. And so I feel like there's something in my intuition, in my spirit, in the same way that I can say words and bring somebody joy, that I can also touch somebody and like unlock things and be like, oh my, whether it was just a knot and they're like, oh my God, thank you. it feels so much better. Thank you so much. There's just something I feel like I have a healing ability.
I was just about to say you're a healer. That's literally a healer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Please tell me too, your next book's going to be called I Have No Formal Training.
Yeah.
Because I
For
will,
any of this.
I might do that.
please write it down now because I was like, I will buy anything. She's like, I set my mind to it. No formal training.
I'm a massage therapist. No formal training.
What is your favorite meal? Like your go-to, I need this.
Mexican
Yum.
food, always.
Me too.
Crunchy tacos, rice and beans, definitely chips and salsa. It's on my rider, chips and salsa at all times. So yeah, Mexican food for sure.
I love that because it's my favorite. And last but not least, what do you know so far?
Sometimes I think I don't know a whole lot. And then I'll show up in certain situations and be like, oh, I know more than I thought I did. Oh, I actually do have value. Oh. I guess I'll say I know more than I thought I did.
I love that. Well, we now know so much more about you. You're an absolute dream sequence. You are. You're a damn dream sequence. Like I was like, oh, please let her be as magical as I want her to be. You're better. You exceed
thank you.
expectations. You get my 5-star Uber review.
Thank you.
You're amazing. Thank you for coming on. Tell everybody where they can see you. We know Funjelah, the podcast, is wherever you get your podcasts and listen,
right.
subscribe. It's brilliant.
Thank you. You can find me on all the social medias, Anjelah Johnson, Anjelah Johnson. Even though I go by Anjelah Johnson-Reyes now, I still just keep my socials Anjelah Johnson.
Yes.
Just keep it short. It's too long. You don't have to be super Latina. Just pick a name, okay? So you can find me on, TikTok, Instagram. I definitely engage most on Instagram, I'll be honest. Because I'm a millennial, I guess that's what they say. So you can find me all over. Funjelah podcast, we do our gratitudes and MADtitude. What's the one thing that's making you angry these days? That's our MADtitude. And then our gratitude, we sit in 5 things that we're grateful for. We talk about them and put out good vibes. And you can find my podcast, Funjelah. And that's it. Oh, my website, anjelah.com. See when I'm coming to a city near you.
And run, don't walk, y'all. Run, don't walk. You're the best. And thank y'all for listening. Rate, subscribe, review, listen to wherever you listen to your podcast. We love that you were here. Thanks,
Thank
Anjelah.
you.
Thank you. And if there's
Awesome.
one way to describe you, it is a good vibe.
A good vibe.
Yeah. Thanks.
Thank you.